Hello, and today we're going to be carrying on with the Scratch Shooter game. Okay, so what I've done off camera is I've made some simple sprite changes to the player and to the gun. If you want, spend some time to do this. What I did was for the gun sprite, I looked at reference images. So you just do that. And also what I've done is make a little change in the bullet here. So instead of forever, um, what moves 10 steps, we're going to be using repeat until touching edge moves 10 steps, and then after that, delete this column. What this will do is until it is touching the edge, until the bullet is touching the edge, it will move forward 10 steps. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is make our enemy sprite. So I'm just gonna do a circle for this. I'm using a different shape from the play sprite just so it's easy to tell and a different color. Then you can add on a face or not if it's similar to your play sprite. Then we will name this basic because this will be our first enemy. Okay, so now in the code, when the green flag is clicked, so when we start the game, we are going to hide it like the bullet sprite just so it doesn't appear. Then what we will do is we want to spawn it near the right side of the screen. So to do that, what we want to do is forever um we will create a clone of the enemy and also wait like we want it to wait a few seconds before spawning the next one. So I will do pick random from 1 to 2 seconds to spawn in. So this will spawn in every 1 to 2 seconds. Then what we do is when I start to flow, we will go to the right side of the screen. So this is about X 220 and pick random. Then for the Y axis we will do minus 170 to 170. This will just spawn it anywhere on the right side of the screen. Then what we'll do is repeat until it is touching. Wait, wait. What we'll need to do in the bullet sprite is change touching edge to touching edge or enemy. So now the bullet will be destroyed if it's touching the enemy as well. So it doesn't pass through multiple at once. Then what I'll do is um, for the enemy grip, we will do repeat until touching bullet. So this will run its AI until it touches the bullet. Then we will move however much speed you want it to have. And so we won't keep it as 10 steps, but oh yeah, what we also want it to do is forever to point towards the player so it actually tracks it. But this is too fast, so we'll change it down. Change what you should do, um, change it a little bit slower or the same speed as your player. But also, and the enemies are currently rotating around, which we don't want. And also, they just stop instead of disappearing. So what we'll do is we'll set rotation style to don't rotate and just put it when I start the clone. So what this will do is keep them in the same rotation axis so so the sprite doesn't turn around. And after the repeat until the delete this clone is similar to in the bullet sprite. Okay, but currently the bullets are a little bit glitchy and they don't always kill the enemy and place intense passive. So what we'll do is put in a small wait 0.01 seconds into the wait, no, not into the bullet sprite, into. Okay, what we'll need to do actually is we'll need to put the wait 0.01 seconds into the enemy split instead. So it's the same here, just wait 0.01 seconds. Right. So now this works how it's intended to. So currently that is basic enemy AI. So what we want to do now is give the enemy some health. So we'll get to that in just a second. This is the completed when I started the clone script for the enemy. And now what we'll want to do is give it some health. And so we'll go into costumes. And first what we'll need to do is make a variable called health. This will just access the enemy health and make sure it's for this sprite only. So each clone can have its own health. So when I start playing, you'll want to set it to the health to however many times you want it to be done. So what I'll do is set it to 2, so it takes 2 shots to kill it. This will just go at the start of when I start as a clone. Okay, so now we want to change this repeat until um to a forever loop. Sorry, I made a mistake when doing this. We'll keep this wait to delete clone and if touching the bullet then it will delete. So this is the simpler way. So well, not the simpler way, but it works better with health and multiple enemies and enemy types when we do get them in the next episode. Okay, and so we'll want to change it to an if else. So and in the else section, no, actually no, not change it. If touching bullet, then if else health is greater than um 0, then we'll change health by -1 to make it take damage. Okay, well now what we'll do. Okay, so that should give them health, but currently it's taking 3 shots to kill them. So instead of so to keep health the same, we want to change it from greater than 0 to greater than 1. So this should now only take 2 shots. Yep, it does. Okay, so that works, but currently there's no visual change to the enemy when it's uh, damaged. So change the name of the costume to basic 1 and then duplicate it and name it basic 2. Now what we'll do, you can make this look any way that you want it to for damage. What I'm going to do is use the eraser tool and just make some holes make some bullet wounds into the enemy. Right, so you can just place these randomly. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is change the mouth of the enemy to a small frown, another visual indication that it is damaged. Okay, so to make the angle less sharp, just use the node tool of the drags. So then we'll switch, when this starts occurring, we'll switch the costume to basic one, so it is the normal sprite. And then when it takes damage, we'll also want to use the next costume. So what this should do, when it takes damage, it will switch to the next damage sprite. Okay, and that is all for today. In the next episode, we'll be adding more enemies. Um, more enemies. And this will include a fast enemy and a stronger one, and also ammunition. So it is limited. There's a limited amount of ammo that you can